What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I am going to be talking about spending money and being financially responsible. Now, you don't often hear these two in the same sentence, but they're not mutually exclusive, even though I feel like we've gotten to a place where we feel like they are, even if we're not consciously aware of it. For me, I associated spending money with being wasteful. Like, just saying the word spending money, it sounded bad and it provoked a lot of anxiety. And if this sounds like you, then you could be dealing with the shame and the guilt of overspending. I feel like it's not too far-fetched to say that a lot of us have dealt with overspending, and we know what comes with overspending. It comes with, more debt, or debt in general. It comes with us wiping out our savings accounts. It comes with us having a super tight budget and feeling really restricted. And so there is a lot of guilt that comes from that. And something happens to you internally. You feel disappointed in yourself because of your financial decisions, so much so that the logical answer to your problems seems to be to just cut out spending altogether. You feel like you do not deserve to spend money on yourself outside of essentials. So it's just essentials only, cleaning up your financial mess, and nothing else. Essentially, you have broken trust with yourself, so you don't really trust yourself to make good financial decisions. So you would just rather not spend money at all. And if you do this long enough, this can actually have the potential to make your situation worse, because whether you say it or not to yourself, you're essentially teaching yourself that if you do spend money, it's going to result in irresponsible decisions. Like, your situation is going to get worse if you spend any type of money outside of essentials. And now, I'm not going to stay on this for too long because I feel like I can go on and on about this, but I feel like this is often the result of one or two things, or maybe even both, with number one being you have not forgiven yourself for your past financial mistakes. So you're trying to clean up your financial mess, but essentially you continue to remind yourself of the bad decisions that you've made, and you continue to manage your money through the version of you that you are evolving out of. And now, it does sound a little counterintuitive that you're trying to become better, you're trying to grow and evolve and learn better habits, but yet you're managing your money through the old version of you that you are trying to leave behind, and you're not really leaving yourself enough room to grow. And number two is that you feel like once that money is gone, it is gone. It's not coming back. You have now missed the opportunity to have that money. You're never going to see that money again. And a lot of you may have heard this being termed as scarcity or scarcity mindset. But essentially, it's you feeling like the money is not going to come back. And once you spend it, then you have immediate regret and buyer's remorse. You're reminding yourself of, what you coulda, shoulda, or would have done with that money. And I find this as being like you're trapped in this coulda, woulda, shoulda phase where you're just going through all of these emotions and trying to figure out what you could have done, which is not really productive because the money is gone. But no matter where you fall between number one and number two, I find that the cycle often repeats itself, and it can be a very vicious cycle. Even after you've hit certain goals or milestones, it can be very difficult for you to allow yourself to spend any type of money outside of essentials and your financial goals. And this was something that I had to break myself out of, and I am still working to break myself out of. Even though I had accomplished these things and I had extra money to spend, I could not allow myself to spend. And when I did spend, I had instant remorse. I was stuck in the shoulda, woulda, coulda phase, reminding myself of what I could have done with that money, what I should have done with that money, or what I would have done with that money if I had not spent it. And that was because I had went through a period of not spending, depriving myself. And so it was very difficult to get out of the habit of not spending on anything besides those essentials. And I always try to encourage people to manage your money in a way that feels authentic and right for you. And now some people have that go hard mentality where they can just lock in on their financial goals and, be able to spend all of their money on these essentials, and that keeps them motivated. Like that actually creates a spark under them. But if you are someone like me, you may need a certain type of reward system where you're rewarding yourself along the way. Do not feel bad for wanting to spend money while trying to improve your financial situation as well. You don't have to have that go hard mentality. If that is not you, you need little breaks, you need little small wins, then that is totally okay. What's not okay is not adjusting your journey to who you are and what you need because you're trying to do it someone else's way. And I find that, yes, you can improve your finances and spend money at the same time because, contrary to popular belief, money has been made to be spent. Money is made to be spent. And it's really hard for us to accept that, but we know that. Money is made to be spent. Now, yes, it has been created for you to set yourself up in the future financially, but it's been made to be spent as well, and it can be spent responsibly versus you overspending and putting yourself into more mess that maybe you've done previously. Now, will you need to be disciplined? Yes, that is with any financial goal, and that's going to include cutting back on your bad habits. You are going to need to gradually restrict yourself so that you have time to create methods to support those habits that you want to have. But cutting out spending altogether because you're ashamed of what you've done and you're fearful and you have a bunch of anxiety about your overspending, that is going to be more like a temporary fix because you are not addressing the root cause of those undesirable behaviors. So it may work for a little while, but I find that the root cause is always going to creep back up, and it may wreak havoc on the process that you have already made because you have not dealt with those issues. So those issues are always going to be there, and it's always going to be into how you manage your money. And I've had times where I went months without overspending. I once had a deprive yourself mentality, and so when I would go in the store, I would do good for months. I would go in the store, I would get something that was a necessity, but then I would see something else that I wanted. And it could be something small, like $10, $20. And then I would put it in my cart and go to purchase it, and it felt good. Like, it felt exciting, it felt thrilling, I felt fulfilled, and I wanted to do it again over and over and over. And that was because I did not address the root cause of my behavior. I just went cold turkey, and I didn't allow myself enough time to build up those the methods that I needed to establish those habits. I didn't make it like a gradual change. It was kind of drastic. And so I just didn't have what I needed mentally to keep myself in check because I didn't allow myself that time to establish those habits, if that makes sense. And I think it's important to take into consideration that we are all placed differently on the track. Some people are right at the starting line. Some people are a little above the starting line. Some people are, behind the starting line. We're not all starting at the same place, and income and your goals play a role. That's because you may not have a lot of money to apply to your goals, so they may take a while. Your goals may be bigger, so they may take a while. And when I say a while, I'm talking about sometimes years in the making. And so trying to have everything checked off your list before you allow yourself to spend money, and it's over a long period of time, that may encourage some people to quit. If you don't have that go hard mentality, you need more of a reward system, what's going to happen? Like, you're going to be encouraged to quit. And I feel like it's common sense that people want to be financially stable. People want to be financially well off. No one wants to struggle. People don't want to be in debt. People want a large savings. People want to invest. But a lot of people don't take the steps to do those things because they don't see any immediate benefit. For them, it may take a while to accomplish these things, and they feel like they need to be depriving themselves. Like, they have to restrict themselves and they wouldn't be able to live life. And so that encourages them to quit. They have no incentive to keep going. And really, it's not because they don't have an incentive to keep going, it's that they feel like they are not allowed to have an incentive to keep going and to renew their commitment to their goals. So here are a few things that I've done to keep my head in the game whenever I was on my first debt-free journey, and I finally cracked the code and realized that I didn't have to deprive myself, and that spending money and being financially responsible can actually go together in holy matrimony. So the first thing that I did, anytime I got any extra money, whether it was $200 or $2,000 from a tax refund, from a bonus at my job, I used a 70-20-10 rule, in which 70% went to my main goal, 20% went to the secondary goal, and then 10% went to me. And what this allowed me to do was have the peace of mind of knowing that 90% of those funds went to something that was helping to improve my financial situation, and I still got a little piece of it to enjoy. So let's say that you're wanting to pay off credit card debt, but you also want to add to your savings. So 70% would go to your credit card debt, you would put 20% of that amount in savings, and then 10% would go to you, and you can enjoy it and do whatever it is that you need to do, and that just refreshes and renews your commitment to your goals. Second thing I did was set milestone rewards. So whenever I would reach a certain milestone, I would allow myself to have some type of budget-friendly reward. Yes, you're going to need to know your numbers, aka you are going to have a budget. That way you know how much you have to work with, so what you can realistically spend without compromising anything that you have going on. But whatever milestone I hit, I would have a reward, like a crab leg dinner. All I like to do is eat. Maybe I would get a pedicure, manicure, get my hair done, whatever it was, depending on the milestone and how much that was freeing up in my budget. I did take that into consideration as well. But whatever milestone that you set for yourself, that could be getting your credit card debt under $1,000, lowering your auto loan or your personal loan or whatever loan that you have, be sure to attach a reward to that milestone. That way it keeps you motivated because you want to get to that treat. And then once you hit that milestone, it's going to encourage you to keep going, because the next milestone you'll have a reward to look forward to. Now, depending on your milestone, it could take you a few months, a few weeks. And if you're like, I need something, a little bit more consistent than that, then you can designate a specific day of each week or each month for you to have a little reward. Like an example with me, Monday through Thursday, I brought my lunch to work. I said, if I bring my lunch to work and I eat that lunch 4 times a week, then that means on the 5th day, Friday, I can go out and I can get something to eat. So Monday through Thursday, I was dang near in shambles, in tears, eating my ramen noodles or my microwavable meals. But Friday is just something about having something to look forward to that excites you and motivates you. It gives you more of an incentive to stay on track with your goals and your budget, because you know what's coming. Like, I knew that come Friday, I was going to get my sushi or whatever it is that I really wanted if I could just thug out Monday through Thursday. So that's something I highly recommend taking into consideration as well. But be sure that you can actually fit those Friday outings in your budget. And if not, you can just stretch out the time frame. Maybe instead of once every week you eat out, maybe it's once every 2 weeks. That way it requires a little less money and gives you more wiggle room. All right, y'all, so that wraps up spending money and being financially responsible. And I do hope that if you have a lot of shame, anxiety, and guilt around your situation, that you do work to heal that so that you can manage your money through a healed lens and allow yourself to have that balance that you really want to have, but you won't allow yourself to have because you're scared that you're going to make the same financial decisions. You don't have to overspend and blow money. You can just spend a little bit here and there that is actually within your budget and still improve your finances at the same time. Let me know down below, what are your thoughts on spending money and being maybe in debt or trying to improve your financial situation at the same time? Do you feel like you can do the two, or do you just feel like you need to cut off all spending until you get your financial situation back stable. Does not matter how long, you need to get it done, and then you can get back to spending money. Let me know down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.